I don't
Start
know.
where
You're
you are.
Probably not going to be an astronaut. That shit's super limited. What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to answer a list of questions again. So we're ranging from dress code to making decisions to there's stuff about books in here in my notes. So
all the things.
Should be a fun episode. My name is Todd, and I'm here with my wife and business partner, Jen. Jen, what's up?
Hello.
It's a rainy day here.
I love it.
Me too. I like the rain.
Me too.
All right, before we start, we want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by our friends at Ping Pong Design and Marketing. If you want to love your website again, check them out. Are you looking to fill your chair with more clients? Ping Pong wants to make the internet a better place with website and marketing campaigns that inform and convert. That's their mission. Ping Pong is also offering our audience a special discount on any website or digital marketing campaign. So visit the show notes, reach out to Chris, and talk to them about your needs. They're also not just for hair pros, but the entire health, beauty, and fitness industries. Let's dive into this show.
Let's do this.
All right. So we recently recorded, I think, I don't know how these will come out, so it doesn't matter, but we recorded an episode on frequently asked questions, and it was fun.
Very.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was really short form. We don't really get the time to sort of dive in as deep on everything, and maybe some stuff we'll come back to.
Mm-hmm.
But to answer questions and get people started, I think there's a ton of value there. So we have another list of questions.
Yeah. And for our listeners that have ADD, they're going to love it because it just goes right along.
For sure.
You can definitely pay attention.
So we'll just go through these and see what we come up with. So question number 1, what's your opinion on a dress code? I assume this is talking about salons. I don't know where I don't know where all these questions come from. Some of them we hear and we write down in our notes, and then it's like,
yeah, I would say salons. I mean, other businesses, you do you, but I was thinking salons for this one for sure.
Yeah, salons and shops. Mm-hmm. All right, go for it.
So my opinion over years has changed on this. I
like to point out that your opinion on a lot of things probably should, not just you, but everyone's.
Yeah, it should change.
You got to be open. Yeah, times change.
Yeah.
Some stuff won't change, but some stuff will.
Yeah, when I opened my last salon, no dress code at all, and I ran into a situation, and I was not a great leader, and I was young as an owner, so I didn't know what I didn't know, and started with.
This was at your last.
Yeah.
So
my dress code situation was no boobs, no butt. Like cover your boobs, cover your butt.
Okay, makes sense. You didn't have a dress code at first.
Yeah, it was just no boobs, no butt. Like that was it. For
how long?
I'm going to say probably 4-ish years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you decided to have one because...
Yes, because...
What happened? Something
as we were hiring people... So again, when I say poor leadership, this is really what it came out of. People would come in with their leggings on and then like a medium length shirt, and their butt was there and it didn't look very professional. There was a lot of unprofessional things were happening. And so at the time with that salon, my co-owner wouldn't address anything. So I would get a picture on my phone of like, look what so-and-so wore today. And I'm like, what do I do with this picture? I'm not in the salon. Do I address it tomorrow? Now it's like we're talking behind their back. Like it was a very awkward situation. So rather than address this convo with my co-owner,
sounds like a good leader you had on that side.
Yeah. We just decided as a whole that we'll just make the dress code black because black looks good. Everyone looks good in it. If you can't afford to buy clothes, you can put on $10 black clothes.
And your logic was, let me get this straight. If you wear black, then your butt can't hang out.
Yeah, it still could, but I think it doesn't look as bad. And it avoided me having to have these pictures taking of people's outfits. Or we would send people to TJ Maxx, like, you have to go get a new outfit. Like, that's not okay. I can't even believe it. Like, when I say this out loud, like, it's just awful.
It's kind of weird. Yeah.
It's really weird. Like, the other thing is, like, we didn't allow sneakers. All I wear is sneakers. That was not my doing, but I didn't push
sneakers
against it.
And for that reason,
I'm out.
No sneakers.
It was just... Anyway, so when I left there...
It sounds like you guys were fostering just this environment that
I don't even know how we
creative-
existed for as long as we
creative and
did.
fun
I always apologize to people that came through that.
For anybody that doesn't know me,
door.
that is sarcasm right there.
So moving forward, I left there. I went out on my own a little bit while we were building Hello, and I got to wear whatever the fuck I wanted. And I'm like, this is amazing. That part of like what I do is my outfits and being creative, and this is who I am. And I don't think I need to have like all of us dressing the same. It's like a bunch of little robots. So that led to opening Hello, and you were like, please tell me that you don't want us to have all black. And I struggled with it.
This. Yeah, because you were like, well, I think it looks nice.
Yeah, I was like, and then I don't have to like work with this conversation about dress codes. Like, it's just black is where it's at.
Yeah,
but
let's avoid all conversation.
like I said, I grew as a person and a leader. And then I also realized if you hire the right staff and you have the conversations in the beginning, everyone knows where to play. So we went, wear whatever you want. I don't really care. Again, no butt, no boobs, like all of that stuff. But like, be trendy. Like, dress how you want to dress, as long as it looks nice, and you show up like professional, of course. But like, part of your personality comes through your clothes. And if it doesn't and you want to wear all black, go right ahead. Some days I still do wear all black. I like that. But other days wearing color, and the clients love it. They're like, I love seeing people in like, I can't wait to come in and see their outfits. I get inspired by what people are wearing.
At our salon, we have a few people that will do like the outfit of the day post on.
Yeah, you would never do that in all
stories
black.
and certain fun things. I guess I'll try to answer this because my opinion on a dress code is that I don't care. Yeah. There are so many more things to focus on than a dress code when it comes to a business.
Agreed. And now I just address it. Like last summer, remember the biker shorts were in. And we were having a little situation where people come in, they literally look like they were coming from the beach. So I'm like, guys, I love the biker short look, but you got to dress it up a little because you literally look like you just came from the beach. And they were like, yeah, I get you, but I don't mind having that conversation now. Like, and they're like, that totally makes sense. Yeah, we got this. Like,
right. I think if you're worried about dress code and that's your biggest problem, you're probably in the 1%. You're not. Yeah,
you got other shit going on.
You don't, or if you don't, if that's what I'm saying. If dress code is your only issue, that's on the forefront of what you're worrying about. Yeah. You're good. You're good to go. So, I would say dress code. Do whatever you want. Be willing to have conversations with people if you have a dress code, and have like in business for anything, have a why. Like, why is it? Is it because the salon, you came from is all black?
Right.
Is it because you just feel like salons are supposed to do that? Do you feel like it makes your business somehow like more professional? It doesn't. That's not what people want in 2022.
Right.
They want individuality, creativity, those sort of things. And so I guess whatever you decide, I don't care. Just have a reason for it.
I like that, even just like making sure there's a reason behind it. Like, put some thought into it.
It's like we talked about cancellation policies on an episode, the FAQ episode we recently did. And I don't care what you have. Just have a why for it and then enforce it.
And stick to it. Yeah.
So again, with the dress code, have a why and enforce it. Like, there's obviously a limit. Like, you don't want somebody to walk in and be like, is this a strip club? Or, is this a beach like place? Like, where am I?
But
you don't want people to be
conversation.
confused.
Yeah.
But jeans, it's 2022. Jeans are cool.
Yeah, so are sneakers.
Jeans have always been cool. Sneakers have always been cool. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
I like to tell the stories because it's fun how I'm proud of like what I've evolved to, but I'm sure people can relate and like laugh at some of those things. And
I know
you should.
And laugh. I know businesses that are super strict with dress code, and I've seen salons, and it's to me, it comes across as slightly like stuffy. If you have everyone that looks the same, I don't want somebody that's the same.
We're in this field to be creative.
Yeah. Is that good? Should we move on?
Good.
All right. This one I think you got recently. So what book would you recommend about business?
Yes, because so the last FAQ, you were like, get a book, read books, whatever. And I'm like, it would be cool for us to maybe recommend what books influenced us or what books maybe are on our agenda to read.
Okay. Do you want to start off?
Sure.
You want me to go? Or?
I met this amazing owner recently, and she recommended...
All right.
2 books to me. Salon owner in Massachusetts, and she's been in the industry longer than me. Lisa's her name.
Wow. Longer than you.
Yeah, longer than me. So she's a very cool lady. But the 2 books she recommended to me, and they're on my list to read, I have not read them yet, And I think, Todd, you might have already read both of them.
Okay.
One is The E-Myth.
Yes.
I figured. And
Michael Gerber.
And The Wealthy Barber.
No.
Those
I
are
haven't
her
read
two.
that one.
Oh, wow. Look at that. We could read that together. Want to have story hour?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I am sort of recommending
that
those.
sounded so exciting. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no.
The Wealthy Barber?
The Wealthy Barber.
I'll put it in the notes there.
Yep. So I have not read them yet, but she was like, these are two books that they highly influenced her and her business and got her more recently to where she wanted to be.
Okay.
So they are on my list to read.
That's cool.
Yes.
So I have a list here, and these books, The E-Myth, you said was your first one, right?
Yep.
So I wanted to avoid books like that. So I think there's some, I think it's called like The 5 Habits of Leadership or whatever. There's some great books out there like that. The E-Myth, those are sort of prerequisites. Like you should have read that. How to Win Friends and Influence People is another great one. These books that I wrote down in my notes are from other industries.
Okay.
And they apply. And I think that sometimes you'll look at something from outside of your industry and you immediately try to find, well, I need to improve my marketing. I'll read a book about marketing in the hair industry. You should actually read a book about just marketing. It doesn't matter what industry it's from.
Right.
Because the principles are the same. Okay,
Gotcha.
just the stories are different. So the first one I have on here was a gift. And it's titled "It's All About the Guest."
Oh, I love that book.
And it was written by Steve Difillippo, I believe his name is. He owns Davios.
Yep.
And it's a client of yours as his cousin. And I used to train her at my gym. So she gifted me that book. It's a super fun read about the restaurant industry and how it's all about the guest, but it's full of like hilarious stories, and it's really great. Anybody
entertaining with great information.
Yes, and anybody that works with people should read it. Give it a read.
Agreed.
The next book I have on my list, and not going in any order, is a book by Mike Michalowicz, The Pumpkin Plan.
That's another favorite of mine.
So
I listened to that one. It was so good.
Yeah, I listen to it or pieces of it every so often.
Yeah.
So that is a great book. It is a strategy from taking your business to like general whatever to like really nailing down your like sort of target clients and figuring out how to produce more of them.
And it's entertaining.
Super
and the way
entertaining.
he story tells.
He's a fun writer.
It's not a boring business book. It's very, very entertaining. And if you do it as the ebook and listen to it, even how he reads it, like it's so easy to just get like lost in that book.
Agreed. It's a good book too. So
Highly recommend both of those.
now I have 2 books written by the same person. The first book is called Two Brain Business,
Okay.
and the second book is called Help First. And those books were written by Chris Cooper, who is
He's amazing.
He runs a mentoring practice in the gym industry.
Who you worked with
I did
when you
work
had
with
the gym.
Yes.
Yep.
So Two Brain Business is like your strategies and how to market your gym, and you can apply them to any industry, like I said earlier. Great book. I don't believe that is the one he re-released, Two Brain Business 2.0. So it's actually an updated version.
Cool.
I think I have both of those sitting over on my bookshelf. So Help First is another marketing strategy book that focuses on the idea of helping people like without expectation. And when you are a connector, when you connect people, you get a lot further. So it's all about your connections. It's all about helping people and just truly caring for people. It doesn't mean you're working for free or anything like that. I believe he goes over all of that stuff. I haven't read it in a while, but
As a stylist, it's very relatable because at times you're doing that often. Like I know so many of my clients that do all different things. So someone needs a dog sitter. I'm like, I know a dog sitter. Hold on, I'll get you her number. Like, and they're like, do you know everybody? I'm like, no, but I deal with all different types of people. So I can absolutely help you connect with those people that I trust, you know?
for sure. So I'll give you a quick story. So I read that book and I was like, oh, help people and more people will find me in my business by helping people. Mm-hmm. So I had, there was a coffee shop that had opened a few months prior. And every time I went in, I saw this, they have like the community board with all these business cards all up there and everything gets all jumbled. There's nothing wrong with that community board. I get it. You're trying to help people, right? So I emailed the owner and I was like, I'd love to meet for coffee. If you have 10 minutes sometime. I know you're busy because you own a business. I own a business. I'm busy too. So she emailed back and she was like, that's great. Yeah, I'd love to meet. So we sit down, we start talking. And I said something like, I really like it. I really like this place. Like, I want you to do well and succeed. So I want to know what I can do to help. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. So I noticed like your community board over there and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not knocking it. But how many, like, so everyone on that board came in and threw their card up wanting to get in front of your audience. How many of them reciprocated? How many of them said, what can I do to help you? She's just staring at me with a blank stare at this point. Of
course.
Because
nobody approaches like that.
Yeah. So, and then she says, well, I don't know. So she tries to like one up me. She's like, well, you have a gym. Here's a stack of cards. This will get your members like 15% off or whatever every time they're in. And I was like, no, I want to help you. And she was like, I know, but well, if your people come in,
help her. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, we formed a relationship. I still talk to her every once in a while. And, yeah, it's just, I didn't go in there looking for, I wasn't like, hey, do you have any 15% off codes for my people? And then I'll send them in here. I wasn't trying to get in front of her audience either. I literally went in to that meeting with help first mentality. Mm-hmm. I just was like, I like it here. I need this place to do well. And they're doing great, from what I can see on the outside. And yeah, so help first, great book. Rambling a little. Let's go. My last book I have here on my list, because I probably could go on forever, is a book called The Go-Giver. And that is written.
I think I have that book too. I think you gave me that book.
I definitely did, by Bob Burg. That was the author there. So we'll put all those in the show notes. So The Go-Giver is a great book about the laws of business. Cool. And it's, I want to say it's like the 5 universal laws of business or whatever, something like that. And he goes through, the main character meets up with like this super successful, wealthy business sort of mentor. And he basically assigns them homework. And if he fails to complete the homework, then his next meeting is canceled. He doesn't, that's it.
Yeah,
the relationship is over at that point.
Yes.
And it's an easy read. It's fun. And I think it'll open your eyes towards the end. If you're into writing and storytelling, you can kind of figure out where it's going. Mm-hmm. But great book. Definitely check it out.
Cool. I love where you are inspiring people to read books outside of the industry to give you perspective in the industry.
Yeah.
Because I do feel that when you're in your day-to-day of the same thing in the industry around all same industry people, you almost walk around with blinders on. Like, you've got to step outside of your environment. You got to read books that are maybe about business, and it'll give you a new perspective on what you're doing. And that is a key point, like, to, trying new books and looking at, reading a book about a restaurant, a guest experience, and then relating it to what you're doing. And it'll open your mind to just different things and ways to look at it differently.
Yeah, I think it's super important because, again, and I used to be in that. I used to be the person or the business owner that was, well, I own a gym, so I need to talk to people that own gyms. No, just talk to people that own busizeness.
Yeah, way better to open your broad mind.
They have the same struggles. And I think it's almost better in a way than, like, so if I have trouble with technical skill, like if I can't cut hair, yeah, you have to go learn how to cut hair from somebody that cuts hair. You have to stay in your industry. But if it's a business issue, like you need a website or you need marketing or you need just sometimes support from people that can relate to you, you don't have to be in your industry. And I think I agree. It gets clouded sometimes because I don't want to be negative, but almost turns into like a bitch fest. You just complain about the problems you have. And it's like, oh yeah, I have that problem too. I can relate. Like, but there's not often solutions.
Right.
So you look outside and it is eye opening. I think you said that. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move on.
Who knew
we got a list.
A book convo.
Yeah, I like books.
I know.
I don't know where this comes from or what it's in relation to, but how do I shift the mindset of my staff? How should we approach that question? My staff is not doing what I need them to do. My staff's rude. Mindset, they're lazy. It would help if I knew the mindset of the staff and what we're changing it to. I'll go first because I've been rambling, so I might as well continue rambling because everyone wants to just hear my voice. Mm-hmm. So I would, if you're trying to change someone's behavior, and that's really what you're doing with the mindset shift, say your staff doesn't clean, right? We've seen salons, so that's not outside the realm of possible.
That's relatable.
Say your staff doesn't clean. Ask yourself why. You're probably going to come up with personality traits or moods or things like that. Like, oh, well, they're lazy. Or well, they're this. Well, they're that. Maybe. If you're trying to shift someone's habits, make it frictionless. Make it easy. Like, what have you done? Do you have a procedure? Have you explained it to them? Or do you just expect people know what your definition of cleaning means?
I think in this situation.
And also, before I forget, make it easy.
Agreed.
Make it simple for people to do. Why all this complicated shit? Just have a procedure, write it out, and have it.
Go over it.
Talk about it once and be done. This is the expectation, and you need to do this here. That's how we are at our business. I
think that can apply to anything, and I think the mindset part comes in is that as an owner or a leader, a lot of times you're like, why aren't they just doing this? And you're not looking at...
No one's going to just do something.
Correct. Like you're the owner. You opened your business. So you look at your business completely different than someone that just works in it. Whether they rent from you or they are a commissioned employee, whatever they are, they don't see the business how you do. They're not looking at it the way you are. So if you need those things changed in your business, whatever they are, if it's cleaning to anything, it's got to be, like you just said, a system put in place that's easy and simple to follow, and then you lay it out as the expectation.
Yeah, I don't know how else to say it. That's exactly what we did with Hello. We laid out our cleaning procedures, and from time to time, it gets a little lax, and we just go over it again.
Yep.
I also think for, like, if people know... So the first step to changing someone's, like if you have a staff and they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing or they're not doing things they should be doing, you have to first, like we've said in a roundabout way, you have to ask yourself why. What did you not do as the business owner? So stop focusing on them. Start with you.
For sure.
And then how can you explain that to them better or simplify it would be maybe your second step. And then third, what are the repercussions? Like, so, okay, you have somebody that, we talked about dress code earlier. You have somebody that they just refuse to follow your dress code. What's the repercussion? Do they get written up first? Is there a verbal warning? Do they get fired after 3 times? I don't know. Whatever you have at your business, do they know? They need to know that, though.
Right.
You can't just sit around being mad
be
and expecting things to change. Yes, it has to be crystal clear. All right. Anything else with the mindset?
That was perfect.
I think if you're listening and you're like, I have something specific, just reach out. We'll cover it. Oh
yeah, for sure.
I just didn't have anything more specific. So this one is a scenario. So what in our notes, and this happened at our salon.
Oh, this is good.
So this is a what would you do in this situation? So we're hoping this inspires a little thought. So Jen, you can just tell the story.
Okay, so I literally want you to think in real time, like, what would you do in this situation? So I had an email come in for a wedding, the end of the month. Wedding season is happening, which is exciting. And she needed so many people for hair and makeup. I think it was like 10 altogether. And at Hello, we have 2 makeup artists and more so a handful of people that can do hair. So I knew the hair was totally fine and she had to be out by a certain time. So,
does she have a date or something?
Yeah, a date. Big date for a husband. So I book the wedding because my other makeup artist is on a day she works, but she is always first to be like, whenever there's weddings or makeup, I'm in. So I take the wedding, I book it in, whatever. I got it all set up, and come to find out, one of my makeup artists, it's that Saturday is her birthday. So,
all right,
what would you do in this scenario where now the wedding has been booked? I've got everything laid out, and my staff is like, I need that day off because it's my birthday. I'm going to pause because like, I want you guys to think about this. Like, what would you do?
Do you want me to answer? Do you want me to talk? Or
I don't care.
Are you just having the audience
I'm just
pause?
having them pause so they can think about it.
We need Jeopardy music.
Yeah, I had a moment. And if any of you know me and you know Todd, we are really great at rolling with it. Like, came home that afternoon, like...
Pivot, make it happen.
Yeah, so, and that's exactly what I said. I'm like, oh shit moment. Like, how do we make this happen? For sure, that makeup artist, day off, it's your birthday. You go have fun because we protect their time first. So this, and honestly, this is on my plate because it wasn't her day to work. I just assumed she would do it because she always does. I didn't know that it was her birthday, right? That day, exactly.
All right. So step one is identifying what the problem is. What's the problem?
Yeah. So the problem is now I'm short a makeup artist, and there's no way my one girl can do all of it because she's got enough people, and it's a time situation, right? She can't do 10 makeups. 5 is where
I don't know.
It goes for the time that the bride has to be out to marry her husband.
Okay.
So
take your word on all of that because I don't play in that side of our business.
So now I'm just in search of, and I don't know if you guys would even be like, wait, she just let her have the day off. It's her birthday, whatever, but it's her birthday. So yeah, she gets the day off. So now I'm like, I got to find.
Of course she gets a day off no matter what.
Yeah. I got to find somebody outside of our salon to do makeup because most of you that do know me, or any of you that do, I can do a lot of things. Makeup is not one of it, and not something that I can just learn overnight and do. Some stuff, yes. This one, definitely hell no. So I reach out to a few people, some contacts that I have, and nothing's really panning out. And so I decide I have a conversation with Todd, and someone that used to work for us is freaking amazing at makeup. And so I say to Todd, what do you think about if I ask so-and-so to come back for one day to do makeup and freelance for us?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So I reach out
What's the harm?
Yeah. So I reach out to her and just like, hey, we got a wedding coming in this day. And she's like, okay. And, would you want to collab and come in and do the makeup and just hang at our salon, for the day, whatever. And she was like, hell yeah, I'm blocking it off right now. I'm there. What time do you need me? And
perfect, problem solved. Next.
So cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
We'll be collabing the end of the month, and it'll be fun to have her back.
Perfect. June?
Yep.
We're in June.
Last Saturday of June.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Maybe I'll go in for that.
Come on over. It's going to be fun.
All right. So what's the moral of that story? It's okay to talk to people from your past.
Yeah.
It's okay to have employees leave and don't burn the bridges and actually mean it.
Yeah. And I share that because I think I feel it's unique, and I'm proud of it for us. When we opened Hello, we promised to do all of these things that like are different in this industry, and keeping an open mind and being okay with changes. And here we are doing it, living it, and
we have people that have left our salon that we have one person that reached out to inquire, one past person that reached out to inquire about coaching.
Yeah.
They need some mentoring. They need a little direction.
It shows that when
they were
leave
like, is that a possibility? I'm like, well, yeah, everything's a possibility.
Yeah.
Unless somebody wants to, like, I don't want a problem with people, but if you want to burn the bridge, I'll light it. I will fucking light it.
So far, it's been great.
But I'm not starting out with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? All right, let's move on. So treat people good, I guess, is the lesson. I don't know. So, sorry.
It's a fun story.
Okay, here we go. So I feel so overwhelmed at my business. There are so many things to work on, and I feel stuck. Is there anything I can do?
Oh, that's a good one.
Go ahead, tear it up, start it.
I've been there many of times. So
How many?
Many. Oh, many of times.
Many of times.
I like to use extra words when I speak, and they're just not necessary. I don't know how to not do it.
Yeah, Grammarly is freaking out right now.
Grammarly hates me. So, when I'm overwhelmed and there's a lot going on, to be honest, first thing I do is I generally clear my head by taking a walk or getting outside, because I've got to like shift my mindset. And I tend to make lists, like what's most important, or first of all, what's making me feel overwhelmed so I can address that feeling. Where is it coming from? What can I do to change it? And maybe what steps need to happen so I don't keep getting in this situation of feeling this overwhelmed.
Agree. Yeah. So removing yourself a little bit helps a ton. So take a walk. I like to go out. Sometimes I'll just go for a walk through the woods, like even if it's 10 minutes, or just get outside, get some fresh air, move around. I do a lot of work from home, so I'll jump on the stationary bike and just move my legs and get my heart going a little bit. Yeah. And then sort of settle down. And so you're overwhelmed, probably dealing with some anxiety. You have things looming. Maybe there's deadlines. Definitely, I would make lists. Half of the things, you might find that are like 60-second little jobs. Just do those. Start getting wins. Start accumulating wins. Another thing that might help you is everyone has a to-do list. You should also have a done list or accomplished list.
Oh, I love that.
And you move so that's how our minds are wired. So when you start out making progress, it's a lot easier to build on that progress than it is to start.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So,
well, yeah, a to-do list can be overwhelming, where a done list is like you're proud of your accomplishments,
correct,
which will inspire you to get back to your to-do list, right?
Yeah. So
at least for me,
and an easy way to do it is to have the list side by side and just move things over. So you're crossing off the to-do list and your accomplishment list is growing.
Yeah.
So you're seeing those successes. I would, again, unless you have a deadline on something, I would just start with the easy wins. Just get your wins.
Get some traction.
And on that to-do list, write down exercise because you just got a little exercise in, or write down cleared my mind or whatever, because that counts too.
The exercise part, I think, is so important for your well-being.
And you have to move. Just move.
Yeah.
I used to own a gym. Trust me, I get it. You can go hard.
Yeah, just do something.
That's cool. You should experience that stuff. But it doesn't need to be that all the time. Sometimes you might, like I said, just take a little walk, get some fresh air, and you feel good.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Or good enough to clear your mind. Overwhelm with business, it's going to happen. You're going to experience that from time to time. And it's just
so
part
normal.
of that entrepreneurial journey, I guess. We have some opportunities on our plate. I guess I could be freaking out right now.
Yeah.
Now that I think of it.
Yeah.
But you know what I do? I don't think of it because there aren't any actions I can do at this current moment.
Correct.
To do anything. So stressing about the scenarios that might come is not going to help me. Right.
Yeah. You can't change it, right?
No. So yeah, lists and activity I would say are good. Let's move on. So I don't always feel confident. How can I change that? Wow. That's a big one.
Big.
I don't always feel confident. How can I change that? Well, for starters, if you're a business owner, you're in a very small group of people. So
true. There's
a win for you. If you're somebody that's an employee, you might not be in that category, but that's okay. Let's see. Confidence.
I just saw something.
I think it goes back to sort of what we were just talking about. Like wins.
Yeah.
Get some wins and build your confidence that way. So I don't know. I need like a scenario.
So I was going to say, I think it depends on where you need the confidence from. So if you're a stylist behind the chair and like, I'm getting redo, so I feel like I suck lately. This is
where my mindset is. I'm like, am I talking to,
so,
who am I talking
you
to?
definitely don't suck. You just might need some education. So maybe you get yourself into a class that's hands-on, right? So that you can have someone help you get through and get you better at that skill set so that those redos don't keep happening, or so you feel more confident in the skill you're doing. If it's just, you're struggling with confidence across the board, then maybe you work on the skill set first. Maybe you hire a mentor or a coach. Like, how do I get my mind to get a vision for where I want to be in the future and the steps that I take to get there? And then confidently, feel confident about the decisions I make, right? So behind the chair, it might be technical. You might need a mentor to help you lay out a map so you feel confident about where you're taking your business to. And you might just need someone to kind of shoot your ideas out and have somebody give you that sounds great. And you're like,
yeah, co-signer.
Yeah, like you knew it was good, but you just need somebody to do that, to help you along or give you the high five, right? So it just depends on.
Yeah, I had that recently. I met up with a friend, grabbed some coffee, and I was like, hey, I have this crazy idea. This opportunity was put in front of me. It's probably dumb, right? And he was like, nope, that's not dumb at all. Let's look at the numbers. And I was like, shit. I think confidence is like how, I don't want to sound negative or crazy here, but how important really is it? Like, I'm not saying don't be confident, but I'll look at a scenario. So there are certain situations where I have no idea. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm confident I can figure it out.
Samesies.
But I'm not confident in the beginning. Like I don't know. I have
There's
no
a period
clue.
of being
So is it okay to
uncomfortable?
Right. Is it okay to not feel confident? Like why is the lack of confidence viewed as a bad thing?
So I think
in general,
that's
like
actually a really good point. Embrace.
Who the fuck is
it
anyone
kind of goes
to
back
tell
to
you?
the last question, but embrace what you're feeling now. Why are you feeling that? And then what actions can you take to help it? But it's okay to not feel confident about something and then work on it and grow the confidence over time. Like part of being confident is working on yourself or working on things around you.
Right. Build it. So another
and then
example,
look in the mirror and be like, I'm a badass person.
In the gym world, people would come into the gym and they're not confident. They're seeing all these people do all these things. They're doing pull-ups and sprinting and jumping over boxes that are as tall as I am and all this shit that's happening. And they're like, I can't do any of that. I'm like, yeah, you can.
Right.
And you will.
Right.
And here's how we're going to get there. And you just lay out a plan and it's small
steps to get to those
places. They're not
places.
doing pull-ups, but they're doing like a row with their body in a set of rings. And they're not sprinting, but they're walking or jogging. And that's their effort that
their
they
starting
can give.
point.
And they're not jumping over boxes, but maybe they're walking up a set of steps.
Yeah.
Like it's all.
And then months or so to follow when they're finally doing the progression of getting there. Wow.
Just build on it.
This is where I'm at. Yeah.
So get over it, people. No, I'm just kidding. It can be confusing, I guess, for people.
Sometimes it's just taking a few steps in the right direction to build on that confidence.
Yeah, and I don't want to be cheesy on the podcast here, but if you set your mind to something, right? You can do whatever you want or whatever. I don't know.
Where
You're
you are.
Probably not going to be an astronaut. That shit's super limited. But
if you do, though, let us know.
Yeah, if you become an astronaut and you're like, thanks to the Hello Hair Pro podcast, I became an astronaut.
So cool.
Would be kind of fire. All right, let's move on. So I struggle with making decisions. How do I know if something is right for me or not? Let me read that again. I struggle with making decisions. How do I know if something is right for me or not?
Okay, listeners.
That's a good question.
You should know what the answer is going to be to this one.
Yeah, I know the answer to this one.
Because we say it often. Mission, core values.
Yeah.
You need to lay those things out so that your decisions can be based on how you are running your business. Oops, sorry.
And look, if you're not a business owner, you're an employee of a business. You might think, how does that apply to me? Write out a mission for yourself.
Yeah.
Think of yourself as a brand, especially with social media and stuff. It shouldn't be that far-fetched for people to grasp this. You need to have a set of values from which you operate. That's it.
Yeah.
Come up with the values.
Yeah. And then a vision too. So then you know, as even a stylist,
where are you going?
Where do you want to be? Otherwise, you're just
vision
going to be bored.
It doesn't need to be a vision, like a business vision statement. But as an individual or an employee, like if you're an independent artist, stylist, whatever, hair pro, you should definitely have this stuff too.
Absolutely.
But if you're an employee, you should also have this stuff. Maybe it's not a vision statement. Maybe you have your goals written out where this is where I want to be in the future. And that would be similar to where a business would lay out their vision statement of what we've accomplished in the future, what we hope to accomplish in the future. And then the core principles or values just guide those decisions.
Right.
That's
it.
it.
It helps you make them confidently.
Yeah, for sure. That was the last question I had.
Great.
All right, here we go.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in. Get on our email list if you're not.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.
You too. See you tomorrow.